How to safely feed a horse with grass. When it comes to feeding horses, there are several safety considerations to keep in mind, whether you are grazing them on pasture or feeding them mown grass. First, let's look at the choice between grazing and feeding mown grass. On a pasture, a horse naturally chooses which grass to eat and where to eat it. This makes it more likely that the horse will separate edible grass from poisonous varieties. However, it can be difficult to assess exactly how much grass a horse has consumed while on pasture. If you are feeding mown grass, it must be fed immediately or dried in the air by spreading it in a thin layer. Be cautious with grass from a lawnmower's hopper. Do not use it unless you are certain of the quality and that it is free from debris. A gradual transition to pasture is essential, especially after a long break. The microflora of the horse's gastrointestinal tract takes about 14 to 21 days to adjust to a new type of food. Therefore, I recommend switching to grass over the course of a full month. You can do this by gradually adding mown grass to the horse's diet and slowly increasing pasture time. Additionally, avoid grazing a horse on wet grass if they are not used to it or are prone to gas and colic. For horses with a sensitive gastrointestinal tract, never graze them on an empty stomach. Provide a little hay first to stabilize their digestion. Timing is also critical, particularly for horses with laminitis or metabolic syndrome. The composition of organic substances in grass changes significantly throughout the day, especially during the early growth phase in May and June. The maximum accumulation of dry matter in plant cells occurs around noon and 1 p.m. For these sensitive horses, the optimal time for grazing is between 4 and 10 o'clock in the morning, when the content of dry matter and carbohydrates is lower. During the day, grass intensively accumulates nutrients. While some organic substances decompose at night, a significant portion remains for plant growth. To understand the nutritional value, we look at the dry matter, which includes carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals. The most nutritious part of the plant is the leaves. The more leafy a plant